welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
Yes, I'm Daniel.
I'm Rex. This is whiskey.
Yeah, but you can't look because you'll know what this is if you just see the cork. You may know what this is even from me pouring it in your glass.
Like the sound, I can tell.
Just from the audio.
Sound
Yeah.
of the whiskey.
Wait, I'm gonna cover this completely. Okay. So.
Trying to remove the remnants of the peaty whiskey we just had.
Yeah. It's not gonna work. It's just gonna get more so.
All right.
This to me is an old dusty bookshelf.
This is a scotch.
Like I just
We're in a
went
scotch.
to I was just dusting some of my bookshelves and like moving books around, you know?
Yeah.
Because you've got the books up on the front edge of the bookshelf.
Yeah.
And then you end up with this little pencil thin line of dust. So you push them back a little and wipe the dust.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Then you gotta push them back.
I don't do that.
But it smells like old wood and dust.
I just have dust until I move.
Yeah.
And then I carefully move the book so it doesn't disturb the dust.
The dust, yeah. So you don't sneeze or anything.
Right. Well, that dusty wood note is right. And
It's smoke and
what is the sweetness though?
the sweetness.
Because it's definitely there. I'm not getting super earthy. I'm not getting super the savory hammy. I'm not getting ham.
earthy.
I'm not getting meat. I'm not getting earth. I'm getting the dusty wood. I think you nailed it in the first thing. You nailed that dusty wood. That old dusty wood.
There we go.
Just nailed that.
I can't figure out what kind of sweetness this is. It's not cherry. It's not fruit. I don't know if it's fruit. It's not flowers. It might be floral, but it may be more like a pear.
Like a floral caramel? Caramel? Do you say caramel or caramel?
I say caramel, which is probably incorrect.
Yeah, everything. Your every instinct is wrong when it comes to pronunciation. You're like the Costanza of whiskey
You gotta do
pronunciation.
something perfectly. I like to have this caramel, as the locals
If
call
you
it.
pronounced whiskey's just the total opposite of what you would think it's pronounced,
Yeah.
you'd nail it. The only piece of any kind of peatiness that I would suggest is the slightest bit of a medicinal note. I say slight. Please understand I say slight. The slightest bit of a medicinal note.
No, it's in there. That slight iodine phenol.
And the more I go back, the more I'm finding it. The sweetness is disappearing.
The taste is punchy and complex and just travels this oil journey.
Ooh, there's
There it is.
the medicinal on the taste, though.
Yeah.
That's not slight.
Yeah. And it's briny
Yeah.
and but spicy and
Briny, medicinal, that sweetness, I'm struggling to find it on the taste now. It's there, but the thing that grabs your attention is the elements that the peat is bringing to the table. That was really on the background for the nose, though. For me, now that nose is.
it is still slightly sugared though.
Yeah, no, there's a sweetness there, and it's not as simple as a sugar though.
It's something
Yeah.
that for the life of me I can't pinpoint. And it's pear was wrong because pear is slightly sour. There's no sour note.
You get a sour from a pear.
I do.
You need to let those pears ripen, man. You're going in hard.
I don't like pear.
You're
I've never liked pear. We had a pear tree growing up.
Yeah.
And every year I'd be like, this is the year I like, and I'd...
No, man, there's some amazing pears. You had a bad tree, and you went in hard on the pears. You went in rock hard on the pears. You got to go in.
You thought of something that you can't share with the rest of the world.
Cause Chad is gonna cut it.
Yeah.
And I try and watch all the videos before they come out, and I'll have Chad usually do some minor edits. And then yesterday's, it's like, wait, I had this amazing salty joke. Why did you cut my amazing salty joke? So hopefully, when it comes out this morning, I haven't watched after he's done the edit. Hopefully they kept my amazing salty joke. I don't think it was out of bounds entirely. It's like 1 foot out of bounds there. Well, I'm gonna marinate on that sweetness while we do a Facebook comment here.
Me too. I can't figure it out.
The Whiskey Tribe Facebook, the Shane Jeff coat. All right, MB, is a lovely day for some kung fu. But what kung should I fu?
Oh, this had a fundamental question for me.
Oh, crap.
That I wanted to discuss.
We should show what this is. Lefroy Anquan Moore.
The Anquan Moore.
Anquan Moore from the Adam Holzneck, you magnificent bastard.
And by the way, we forgot to do it yesterday, Adam. But yesterday's was Adam's too.
No, I think we did that.
No, we didn't.
We did.
We did not.
What?
We did not do it yesterday. There's a couple of things. So
I said Adam Holznick.
this is a recovery day a little bit. So the Adam Holznick, well, here's the thing.
We did a Adam Holznick.
The one here is...
you mean this one?
Yes.
Not from our shoot yesterday.
No, because this one, yesterday's episode we just did, this makes him a patron saint now. This is number 7.
So did we just bastard a saint?
We're doing them backwards. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, now he's a patron saint of whiskey.
I'm never going to say this again in my entire life, but the one and only time, Daniel, I think we need a spreadsheet.
We have one. All right.
My spreadsheet game is strong. Adam Holznick, you make... Wait, patron saint. Adam Holznick. You were going to give him the full thing. You patron saint of whiskey. Wait, that's the new patron saint thing. Yeah, you sing the thing, and I'm.
So the other one was because it took so long for us to get to the Fire and Cane.
We had a couple.
We had 2 people donate the Fire and Cane. So we did the Fire and Cane for the person who originally donated it.
Yeah.
But Matthew Wright also.
Matthew Wright, you magnificent bastard.
So we'll do that. From now on, I should be able to know whether we've got duplicates and we can do them all in one episode.
Okay. Speaking of, is the vault list on the website now a lost cause?
No, actually, it's been updated to include every single thing except these 2 sections.
So you're pointing to Irish and Speyside?
Yeah, but every
blended.
other...
This is blended, yeah?
Yeah, blended Irish, wheat, and rye.
So,
but look, that's the rest of the room was updated.
So
it added like 400 bottles that weren't on the list.
So Irish, blended, wheat, and rye.
Mm-hmm. We still need to finish.
It's not updated.
Right.
And then because people want to know, well, what's in the vault?
Right.
The link will be in the description. Chad, make sure that's there.
Yeah.
Okay. We were in the middle of a question, but what kung should I foo? 1 nice bottle or 2 decent ones? Or 4 gross ones? Don't do 4.
No, for us.
I'm looking at spending about $80.
Right.
Most frequent suggestion is going home with me today, assuming I can find it. No spreadsheet required. Place your votes now.
We're not. That's gonna. They're voting in the Facebook group. But my question was based on that question.
Right.
What's your choice when you're buying whiskey? Do you go for a few really nice things,
Right.
or a double quantity in reasonably decent things?
Like me, or the universal me?
Not you. Like if I said, "Here's $100, go buy yourself some whiskey," and you did it. Would you buy a bottle, or would you buy 2 or 3 bottles?
I'd pocket the 100, man. I'd get whiskey.
if you somehow are forced to buy whiskey,
all right.
Stop begging the question.
Let's say it's a gift card.
Yeah,
It's a gift card.
It's a gift card.
You have to use it.
Buy some whiskey.
Right.
It's $100.
Yes.
Would you go, I'm going to get the closest expensive bottle to 100 I can get, or I'm going to buy 2 or 3 really nice bottles?
I would get the closest expensive bottle to 100.
Okay.
Because one, it's a gift card.
Right.
And gift cards feel like free money.
Mm-hmm.
If it was my money, though, then I'm doing the other thing.
2 or 3?
I'm doing the 2 or 3.
Okay.
I'm doing the 2 or 3.
Wow, so you're a house divided.
Yeah. No, I'm an exotic and complex creature.
Like a unicorn peacock.
Yeah. Josh Slay. We got it. Hi, y'all. I just joined this group. I'm looking. This is also on the Facebook Whiskey Tribe group. Looking forward to many years of friendly banter about which whiskey to try next. But I have a slightly more serious question for the group. My son is due to arrive in January, and I wanted to get a good bottle of whiskey to celebrate his 21st birthday. But I want to get it now and drink it with him in 21 years.
Okay.
So my question is this. How would you suggest I store it to ensure that it is palatable and still drinkable at the end of that time? Thank you, everyone, in advance.
So, here's the thing: is depending on what you buy, people have this obsession with using real corks. I've never understood in an era where synthetic materials can look exactly like a real cork, feel exactly like a real cork, but not be a real cork. Why do people insist on using real corks?
So
I don't get it. I know it's romantic.
So, I've never had a synthetic cork fail on me.
Yes, exactly.
I've had multiple real corks fail on me.
Exactly.
That being said, the synthetic corks, I wouldn't say it's just like...
Well, most synthetic corks, they look like synthetic, but you can purchase synthetic corks now that look like a real cork.
Really?
They're made to look like a real cork.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my point is, when you buy a bottle, you got to figure out, does this have a real or synthetic cork? Because if it has a real cork, that bottle needs to be stored in a dark place, upright. But if you just simply leave it there for 21 years, that cork could crack, rot, and you could have a problem.
Yeah.
Whereas a synthetic cork, that's never going to be a problem.
You know what?
So what that means is about once a month, you're going to need to turn the bottle upside down and get the cork wet from whiskey. You don't need to open it. You just get it damp so that it stays, the cork doesn't dry out.
Okay.
And then keep it dark, cool, out of sight.
Yeah, not refrigerator cool, just...
No.
You know.
Cool like cellar cool or closet cool.
Yeah.
And not the closet next to the heater.
I added a tiny bench of... a tiny bit of water.
Wow.
Just that little
Freudian slip.
little of water. Such a little...
What was I watching yesterday? It was Dimitri Martin. He said, you know, we've got wizards of everything. Everybody wants to be a wizard, but you never have the witches of things.
Right.
Like, it's like in that one area of our life, we're misogynistic.
I don't know. Well, honestly, I don't think the witch is the parallel to wizards.
It is witches and wizards.
No,
witches are female wizards.
Warlock.
Nah.
It's warlock.
Nah.
Witches and warlocks. Wizards are a different thing.
You think so?
I do.
You guys weigh in on this.
Dude, come on. Are we having the witches and warlocks war?
I really don't know the
As
answer
if
to
we
the
weren't
question.
already culty enough.
Yeah. As if we already weren't shooting this film at the Wizard Academy.
Did you add some water?
Yeah, I did add a little dash of water.
Man,
And it just made it a little more dark, which is weird. Now this is bourbon finished in European oak.
right.
And by the way, what I have discovered is John Campbell is the new master distiller at Lafroig, and by new I mean most recent.
Right.
And every time he just chooses a special edition thing that he likes,
Right.
I am guaranteed to like it. John Campbell and I have the same preferences in taste.
Yeah.
Every time he's like, well, given my own choice,
Right.
I will create, and then lore shows up.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's it. And this was one where he said, well, given my own choices, I would create, and this shows up, and I think, oh, yeah, I would have picked that. By the way, this is a travel retail exclusive.
Okay.
So you can only get this in duty-free shops.
Okay. Here's the thing. The nose for me was not Lafroig.
Until you added water.
The taste for me was not Lafroig. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to chalk that up to two things. One, whenever I don't go into a whiskey knowing like, oh, this is going to be the medicinal, the Isla Peaty
Right.
thing, when I go in completely blind, I can totally get thrown for a loop. I can project what I see
All
on the
kinds of
label,
things,
what I
yeah.
see on the label into a glass.
Oh, absolutely.
But
everybody can.
the moment I added water,
Every human being.
it's like, oh my gosh, now I am like just
Right back into Lafroig.
camped in the middle of Lafroig territory. And it was the water that brought out all of the things that I remember about this distillery.
I figured out what the sweetness is.
You know?
Cream cheese frosting. So instead of just your vanilla metallic icing sweetness,
yeah, I guess, okay.
it's the creamy icing
Cream
sweetness.
cheese
So
frosting.
you still get the sweet frosting,
Yeah.
right? But cream cheese, a little richer.
This
But it's not honey.
This did not lose any of the peatiness,
No.
any of the aggression.
No, it really didn't.
The sweetness felt like it got a little less potent, though.
I'm at
I
a
felt
little
like
more water.
I felt like it diluted the sweetness a little bit, but everything else stayed
48% is what this bottle's ringing in at.
Did we have a suggestion for Josh Slay, or just say in the comments, put your suggestions?
I'd say in the comments, put your suggestions.
What would be cool if you gave him a 21-year-old whiskey on his 21st birthday?
Yeah, I think that's what he was aiming for. The other thing you could do is use that list of buy your own whiskey from a distillery that's selling them by the barrel for $3 to $5 grand,
I'm on a hot streak.
and then just let them hold that barrel for 21 years.
Yeah. Wait,
And then you'll end up with,
is the storage
50 bottles, 50 to 100 bottles of it.
Is the storage cost reasonable for them to hold on?
My guess is they'll hold on to it as long as you want.
Well, yeah, but
You bought the cask.
yeah, but for how much money? It's taking up room.
Yeah, but one cask already purchased. My guess is you're probably not going to have to pay for storage.
Okay. So
But I could be wrong.
the
about that.
21 suggested it before, but for that specific age, the Glenfarclas is an old whiskey. It's a good bang for your buck whiskey.
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
You want kind of an
But he
old
is going to
stick.
be sitting on this for 21
He's going to be sitting
years.
at 21 years. I'm saying, if you want to have a whiskey that's 21 years old now that you give him whenever he's 21, then that could be a thing. If you want to do something where it's much more elaborate and complicated, then whatever the hell you want, man. There's lots of
Exactly.
comments that are giving suggestions. No.
All right. Thanks for 2 days of Adam.
Yeah, we'll try not to forget.
The next person.
Here's dividing, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, I fight for a friend.
Steal, may you steal a lover's heart.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.